Thank you, sir. I am sure on the shoulders of such foundations such as Vatikuti, cancer prevention and treatment will be made a possibility across our country. Dr. A.V. Subramaniam is an oncologist, but he is more than that. He runs the Red Cross Society in Vellore and has the experience of helping hundreds of cancer survivors free of cost. He is also a proud prostate cancer survivor who has undergone robotic surgery. He is closely associated with the core of this foundation, and I request Dr. Subramaniam to share with us a few words.
Namaste. My name is Dr. Subramaniam. I am from Nellore, Andhra Pradesh. See, I was a Red Cross secretary for 20 years. Red Cross Cancer Hospital started by Abdul Kalam, 2006 in Nellore. In addition to that, we are running around 13 projects. I am happy to tell you, I was operated for CA prostate. It was detected early. Dr. Anant operated me. Later, I had radiotherapy treatment in our hospital, cancer hospital, that is rapid arc. I am happy to tell you, I never had any side effects. Third day, I was discharged. Then onwards, I am as active as before. Even after, during radiotherapy also, I was driving my own car from hospital to my place where I was staying. So, nothing to worry. Early detection is very, very important. Just I want to tell my views. I thank Dr. Ananthakrishnan for giving me this opportunity to speak in this august audience. So, incidence of prostate cancer in men is increasing as the elderly population is increasing in the community. Ours being a developing country and lack of health education in the community, cancer patients are coming to hospitals in advanced stages. Hence, morbidity and mortality is very, very high in our country compared to developed countries. Treatment is also expensive. Hence, prostate cancer cases in advanced stages are losing their money as well as their lives. Patient families, they are suffering, you cannot imagine. Previous speakers have already mentioned, if prostate cancer is detected early, it can be cured totally. Hence, there is a need to create an organization to take up this job. I congratulate Dr. Ananthakrishnan for starting Indian Prostate Cancer Foundation to do this job. As I mentioned regarding the functions, awareness regarding early detection, to help the patients who can't afford the cost of the treatment. I advise people to have health insurance. Majority people are not doing health insurance, just they are requesting for so many concessions. If you are having that health insurance, that can be major problem can be solved. Research to improve to have cost-effective treatment with quality. Because I had to tell you frankly, see, people ask me after my surgery, I got incontinence. I developed my own technology by changing diapers 5-6 this one kids. It will cost a lot. I made my own way. I will present the paper to our foundation, to our country, development country in a better way. So research is also very important. Then collection of biostatistics, definitely it will improve for the future development and management of the science. And as you mentioned, website is also very important. Developing support groups, not only locally, it should spread throughout the country. And fundraising, without money we can't do anything, so which can be discussed with the support members. Once again, I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experiences with us. Dr. Sunil Shroff is the Professor of Urology and Chief of Mohan Foundation, who has done a great amount of work in organ donation. I kindly request you, sir, to offer your felicitations.
I wish to congratulate Anant for this grand launch of the Indian Prostate Cancer Foundation. I represent an NGO called Mohan. Mohan is an acronym, an Indian acronym for Multi-Organ Harvesting Aid Network. I, like Anant, started a foundation in 1997 when I came back from England, and this is about 18 years back. When I started, I didn't know what kind of journey I was going to undertake. I would say one thing to Anant. Anant told me that, sir, you speak about something about your experience of running an NGO. I think, Anant, it is very easy to start something, but sometimes very difficult to sustain. But looking at your launch today, you have such stalwarts in the audience, I don't think so you're going to have a problem. The organ donation movement in India was very difficult when we started in 97. I'll very briefly, for half a minute, tell you what we did. When we started the program in 1997, nobody believed that cadaver organ donation was possible in India. They thought I was mad coming from England and starting something like that. But continuous persistence worked, and today there is a paradigm shift, and people are talking about organ donation more and more. This year we received the award for the best state in the country for organ donation, cadaver donation. Professor Dr. Radhakrishnan was there in Delhi to receive the award from the health minister. Tamil Nadu as a state does 10 times the national average of organ donation. And Chennai as a city has organ donation rate which is similar to Australia and Germany, which is 15 per million population organ donation rate. This year we already crossed 150 donations in Tamil Nadu. So as a health destination, we have an edge. And I think, Anant, this is the first foundation of its kind in the country. This is truly a men's health foundation, but we need a lot of our ladies to support our foundation if you really want to be successful. Because to run a good NGO, you know, there are NGOs and more NGOs. I don't know if you're aware, there are 3 million NGOs in this country. There's one NGO for every 400 Indians. So, but to run these NGOs, you need a very strong workforce, a very passionate workforce with a lot of fire in their belly. And that is the success of any NGO. And this 18 years, this is what I've learned. And you must select your NGOs very carefully. 80% of our workforce in one foundation, we have 35 people working for the foundation. We have 9 offices in the country today. 80% of workforce are women. But I truly believe that the women in our country are great and they really can deliver things. So, you know, utilize their passion, and they, you know, they are the best counselors. As Mohan Foundation, we train counselors just like you have, you aim to train counselors. And most of our counselors again are women. And they are able to spend so much of time with the families. Invariably, all the no's for donation turn to yes because they have so much of commitment. So utilize our ladies, you know, women force well in this program and you'll succeed. I will tell you that. The other thing, you know, you've already done a good thing by bringing Dr. Subramaniam here, because you need to put those patients first who are the sufferers. Because if you let the patients who have suffered talk on the dais, everybody will listen to them. And you already brought one person today and he spoke very well. And this is very important, putting patients first. So create this support group, where this support group will take you forward. So do that. The third thing is, of course, very important is funding, the vitamin M. And there you need to have some personal commitment. I, as a foundation trustee, I give 1 day of my, all my earnings every week to my foundation. So charity has to begin within you, from you. So in the same way, you need to start, discussing how to do fundraising, because you need to get the fund from the community. You need to write projects, and you need to have good fund managers in your program if you really want to take it forward. Because on the 1st of every month, you need to pay those salaries, and you need to pay your workforce good salary, so that they don't get, there's no attrition, and people don't leave the foundation. Because the worst thing to happen is a good person leaving the foundation and going to somebody else. So they need to be paid well, and we at Mohan Foundation, we pay almost at the corporate level. That's why we have our manpower which stays with the foundation, and that's why we are successful to some extent. And the third thing which is very important to keep is transparency. We have websites, and the website should have all your accounts, all your trustees' names, all your advisory group, all your funds, how much money has been spent, because you have high accountability. of the 3 million NGOs which we have in our country, only 5% are accountable, and that's why NGOs sometimes get a bad name. So run your NGO very carefully, have constant audits as an NGO. We have an audit every 3 months in our NGO, financial audits. So keep your transparency very high. So if you do all that, I think you'll definitely succeed. And in every meeting you go like this, you have a huge audience, you must make them talk. You must make them speak. So I will do that for you. First, I want to clap for you. I want all of you to clap for Anand. And I want all of you to say in one voice, since you're gathered here, that we support the Indian Prostate Cancer Foundation. So please say, yes, we support this foundation. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Your words will surely be a guiding light to the running of this foundation. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I request Dr. S. Rajasabhabati, Head of the Department of Plastic Hand and Microsurgery, to say a few words.
Good evening to all of you. I think it's been a great day. I think it's a nice way to end the year and begin a new one. We as doctors, we feel we are in a blessed profession, because every morning when I get up, I always feel that so happy that we could be bringing some happiness in someone's life that day. I think that's the sort of life. And if we could cure people like that, imagine how happy we should be if we are able to prevent a problem. I think that's what now this Indian Prostate Cancer Foundation is trying to attempt, and improve the outcomes of all the people who have sustained prostate cancer. I think I need to talk about three things, and people who have talked before me have really exemplified as to what this Cancer Foundation must do and what it stands for. The most important is that of creating awareness. That as youngsters we knew, but then many a time we really forget it. This has been brought into me by a very strong message when I went to England in the late 80s for training. And every Friday at around 12 o'clock in the hospital, there used to be a siren, and the doors will open, doors will close. That's a fire drill used to be done. For me, when in late 80s, when you go from India, it used to be looking like it always used to look me a mad fun it was. And one day I really told Mr. Bailey, who was my consultant, why is this being done every Friday? Then he said, Raja, you should understand one thing. Fire, when it looks out from the outside, it's so bright. But then inside a fire, it's so dark, you cannot really see. That's the reason even if you see in hotels, they always put a place, you are here, and that's the way to go. And then he told one word, which has really struck me. What he said, if you need to come out of a disaster, you should be pre-educated. Because after a disaster strikes you, you don't have time to get educated. He said, you should remember this when you go back to India. It's only in a matter of just fire and other things. It's also in healthcare. So he said, when you go for burns and other things, you said most important thing, a part of your job must be to create awareness. So when we came back to India, I think that's what we did. I always used to tell my colleagues, for 10% of your time, you must be spending on increasing awareness of what you do. I think that's what the foundation that has started, that Anandhakrishnan and the team have started, is just one of the prime things they should do is to increase the awareness. That's what our chairman of the Apollo Hospital, Professor Chinnasamy, all the speakers who have said, I'm sure that they would be doing. The second thing is that I always used to exemplify the Aravind Hospital's example. I used to like that institution very much. He said they had a very good purpose, the purpose of preventing needless blindness. So when Gayatri, my daughter, asked me, I think, Papa, we need to have a purpose, I said, you just have to have this. He said, you just keep it as now preventing needless morbidity due to prostate cancer. I think that should be a good purpose you should have, because when you have a good purpose, I think that the power of the purpose is unlimited. I think you need to have a good purpose, and once you have a good purpose, automatically it brings in people. I think that's the reason if you see the board of directors which they have taken, it doesn't contain of urologists, it contains Mr. Murali, Mr. Sridhar Ganesh. They're all now different from different walks of life. One of the things that really happens is that when you have a good purpose, you really do not know what all it could draw in. I think it has drawn in a lot of people. Mr. Sunil Shah was very much apt in right in saying that we also run in a lot of foundation and charity or in charities we run. When we start, there's a lot of enthusiasm, and usually if you find the activity graph, you will find it always takes a big hop. Then after that, no, it takes a plateau. But then is the time, that plateau should not happen. Then it should be a steady rise. It's not just a very steep rise and plateauing. There should be a steady rise. People in the industry, I think people have done a great business. They understand what it is. So I think they should be able to do that. I think that's the reason why a lot of us have joined together. And the third important point, why I personally would like to compliment Anant and Gayatri and the team of people who have joined is as medical professionals, we started thinking of surveys and all that after when you become in late 40s or the early 50s. You do really take this thing. Because some time back in Bill Gates, in his address in Davos, he said, the people asked him, where do you put your money for charity? He said, first is that he classified people and he said, first man thinks about himself. I think then after that he thinks where it is not possible. I think that only then he goes to the next step. And he said, I would like to put money where there is a gap in the existing systems of care. I think where is that? He said, no, where in malaria, I think where you find a vaccine for malaria. I said, where there is a service gap, where there is a loop is incomplete, I think that's where I need to go in. So I think this is a small gap. I think each could go in their level of capability. I think Bill Gates could go into higher level. I think and then they could go it at a smaller level, start in our city and then grow big. I think that's what they have done. I think with so many of us in this all wishing them, I'm sure with God's grace and all of our help, I'm sure this will succeed. I take restoration of all of us as board of directors. I think we wish them all the very best in life and also in the aims, in the fulfilling the aims of the Indian Prostate Foundation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. If the only prayer you said in your whole life was thank you, that would suffice. I now request Mrs. Gayatri Ananthakrishnan, the Chief Executive of the Indian Prostate Cancer Foundation, to propose the vote of thanks.
You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving us your time and support to the cause. At the outset, I would like to thank our grandparents and Dr. Chinnasamy and Dr. P.C. Reddy, who are here to bless us in this initiative. Our parents and family who are here to encourage us, and well-wishers and friends who are here to cheer us on. So what started as a nagging thought has now mushroomed into a dream. Patients consulting the urologist at a later stage of cancer when not much could be done to help them